Hey guys, good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Clearly we're in a different setup right now because I am actually going to be telling you guys about my workout routine. I don't really talk about it often, but I feel like why not? So I do recognize that being over the road, being a truck driver, you have to be active. It's very important. And so I try to implement working out into my daily routine. Before I get into the workout part of this video, I do want to speak on my past experience with working out over the road. For those of you who are not aware, I used to drive over the road, which meant that I was going all 48 states like in 2019 to 2020, and during that time I was a pescatarian, which meant that I only ate fish as a meat source. Everything else was like vegetables and things like that. I didn't exclude myself from anything else but meat, but I still ate fish, right? So that's a diet that I kept with me. I also cooked on the truck. I cooked religiously. I almost never ate out until like literally the last couple of weeks before I quit my first job, which was Warner. And during that time I worked out every single day. I could honestly say that from April of 2020 up until I want to say September, I worked out every single day. I probably missed like 1 or 2 days. And my workouts consisted of just a short little circuit that I created on my own, where I would do 5 different workouts in repetition about 3 times, and they were very simple workouts. Understand, I have never been athletic a day in my life. I did small little sports in high school and things like that, but I like quit. I never really took anything seriously. I was never on a team. I never did cheerleading. I was always into like the more extracurricular type things like drama club, or back in middle school I was doing like glee club and things like that. So I wasn't the athletic type. I was more into like other things. So when I started working out last year, that was my first time committing to something this athletic like ever in my life. What I tried to explain to some people who saw the change in my routine, what I tried to explain was that I wasn't really doing the change of diet and the workout for what people would normally do them for. I was committing to those things because I was trying to build discipline. Me choosing not to eat meat wasn't necessarily for health benefits, and I just decided that I was going to do that for 1 year to try to create a habit of myself. With that being said, I was doing very well when I was doing over the road. However, I did fall off. I fell off because after that year mark, where I had completed a full year of being a pescatarian, I slowly started to incorporate regular foods again. And the thing about being a pescatarian is it keeps you from eating out as much, primarily because not many places offer fish, and I wasn't trying to eat fried fish because then what was the point? So I wasn't really eating out based off that. But once I started adding more foods in, like chicken, and I wasn't really eating red meat, but I was eating turkey and stuff like that, I was able to now eat more items on like these fast food menus, and so that increased again. Then when I switched jobs from going over the road to being local, I was at home more. It was a transition, so it was something where my normal routine was shaken up, so I wasn't being as consistent with working out. I was still working out, but I wasn't working out every day. I think one of the biggest things was I sort of changed the way that I worked out, which it gave some pros and some cons. When I got home, I started eating regular again, like how I used to eat. However, at my father's home, he actually has gym equipment, so he has a treadmill and things like that, and so I was able to incorporate cardio, something that I hadn't been able to do over the road. I could have if I really tried to, but who's about to run around after they done drove for like 10 hours? Not me. I was able to incorporate cardio, and then I started to incorporate more strenuous workouts because I had the equipment to do so. So that increased my metabolism, so I started eating more because I was hungrier. However, I started working out less because I saw that I was working out harder, which meant that I wasn't being as disciplined as I was when I was over the road, where I was working out every single day. that in turn sort of took away the discipline aspect of things. So I would go from working out every other day to like maybe missing 2 days, and then I'd probably, you know, work out 3 times a week and things like that. It didn't dwindle to me not working out, period, but it was enough for me to be more, I guess, lackadaisical about being consistent with working out. So fast forward to me getting a regional position. So I left my local position, and then I started driving weekly, where I would come home once a week, probably about 2 days, and then be back on the road. This made me gain weight. My metabolism increased from coming home, and I was eating poorly, or I guess I wasn't managing my food the way that I used to. So I was eating out more carbs, more fried foods, things like that, right? I drastically stopped my cardio because I didn't have any treadmill up in here or anything like that. So going from cardio, like hardcore treadmill, 10 minutes or so of like a rough jog, you know, going from that to nothing, I picked up some weight. And then the last thing was I essentially started driving 10 hours a day again, and I wasn't being consistent with the everyday thing like I was the year prior. So I'm very conscious of my body, not in a negative way, but I pay attention, and I noticed that I started to gain weight. Other people may or may not notice, but I know when I start gaining weight. So while I don't think that gaining weight is something to obsess over, I have a goal. My goal is to have a more slender build, right? However, my genetics sort of work against that, because my genetics make you a little more chunky. Me creating this video is essentially me showing you what I do as of today, because I'm still working towards becoming more disciplined like I used to be. And then I'm also incorporating new things that I believe helps me to work out more efficiently in less time. So I'm gonna start off with how I work out. Before, when I was driving over the road, I would do a series of like 5 workouts, and then that would be it. It'll probably take me like 30 minutes to do, and that was that, right? As it stands now, after I came home and I started to come up with a different type of routine, and I recognized that that worked best for me, now I incorporate cardio in the beginning. I try to make sure that I have cardio as my start of my workout so that I can get a sweat going, and then shortly after that, that's when I'll start my actual workout. The things that I use for cardio differ. One of the things that I recognized when I was at home was that though I really did appreciate cardio, I got bored with the same type of cardio. If I was doing the treadmill day after day after day, I would start to dread or not look forward to getting on the treadmill again, because, you know, the same muscles are still sore from the last time. I already know I'm about to be out of breath at this particular moment. Like, I need something fresh, I need something new. And so I started to go from the like if I started to get tired of the treadmill, then I would start doing the bicycle. If I got tired of the bicycle, I would do the elliptical and things like that. Now that I'm on this truck, of course I have limited mobility. I don't necessarily like working out in front of folks that I don't know, and I don't want to cause attention to myself because I'm a woman out here, and you know. So I knew off the bat that I wanted to stay inside the truck. If you are, say, too big to work out inside of your truck, like too tall or things like that, or you just don't feel comfortable being in such a closed area, you can still work out outside. Or if you have an empty trailer attached, you can work out inside of your trailer. Or you can work out in the shower room when you go to take a shower, right before you take a shower. I've done that too. I have even worked out outside, but I tend to not really want to. For me, being inside is the best. So my different ways of cardio is, number one, weighted jump ropes. So I got this tip from Black Girl Rave Trucking here on YouTube. That's my girl. She introduced me to jump ropes without the full cord. So it's just 2 handles and they're weighted at the end. I'll show a picture up here. But I use that, and I'm normally just in the middle of my truck, making sure that I'm not hitting anything. Now, what I will say is I would suggest getting one that is shorter than the one that I got. I'll try to link one in the description box, but clearly you don't want it to be hitting random things. But it works. It works for me. I try to do maybe 3 minutes. I'm not trying to be out here dying. I'm still gonna work out afterwards. I'm really just trying to build up a sweat, and I'm still trying to build myself up. So I encourage you, if you are someone who is trying to get the hang of working out, then you can start off small. You don't have to start off super big. Outside of jump roping, one other thing that I have, which I did extensive research on, I have a portable workout machine. Now, I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't know what this is called. I would consider it like similar to like a Stairmaster or an elliptical or something like that, but it's a pretty dope invention. I got it from Amazon. I'll leave the link in the description box. But essentially what you're doing is you are taking one step after the next, and you also have the option of pulling the resistance bands up to give yourself a full cardio workout. So you're using your arms, you're using your legs, you're using your core, all of these things in conjunction to start to burn calories and things like that. I really like this machine because it takes up very little space, and I didn't have to build it when it got to me. It came already built, so I really appreciated that because nobody's trying to start building stuff, not me. I normally work out on this thing for like 10 minutes. I'll set the timer on my phone, listen to a podcast or something like that. Afterwards, I end up working out. But if you are not looking towards something like that, there are plenty of machines on Amazon. I definitely encourage you to check them out. They have portable bikes, like little cyclers that you would normally put underneath a desk. They have that. You could use it in this truck. I believe they even have a portable treadmill. Now, I'm not about to buy a treadmill up in here, but they do have that. They have all types of things. Check out Amazon and see which one fits you the best. So after cardio, I actually start to work out on my bed. That's where I do the rest of my workout for the day. I used to create my own workouts, but as of lately, to keep things short and sweet, I normally go on YouTube and I look up workouts for the bed. So sometimes if I want to target something specific, I'll look up ab workouts, lower ab workouts, lower body workouts. I'll link the video that I use the most frequent down below. I tend to look for videos that provide the same workout but in repetition. My father, he was sort of my, I guess, workout trainer for a short period of time. One thing that he showed me was the reason why I wasn't seeing my results quicker was because I was doing short circuit workouts that were one workout and then a totally different workout and then another workout, and none of them were the same workout over and over again, which meant that I was targeting different muscles and not using repetition to keep targeting the same muscle. So I wasn't able to push the same muscle. I was briefly working out different muscles over and over again. So while I was seeing progress, I wasn't seeing my full potential of progress for the work that I was doing. So if you are looking into short circuit workouts, I encourage you, make sure that the workout is in repetition instead of going from crunches to leg lifts to planks. It's not as effective. I do have other things like resistance bands, dumbbells, things like that, but I'm gonna be completely honest with you, I don't pull them out. And it tends to just be because I'm still trying to get back into the discipline of working out. And one thing that'll discourage me more than, say, me not wanting to work out is me having to pull out equipment to work out. I'm a tad bit lazy. I don't want to have to do the most just to get a workout in. If I really want to be consistent, I need my workout machinery right where I can grab it. I don't want to have to lift this heavy bed up just so that I can grab a dumbbell. Another big reason why I don't use my resistance bands is simply because I think I have the wrong ones. I got them from Marshalls, I think, and they just ride up whenever I'm using them, say like on my thighs or whatever. So, but one thing I will encourage is just have a multitude of things, and whatever works for you, work with that. Now, as far as my diet, I'm not on a diet that I think that you would put a name on. I'm more so just avoiding certain foods. So one of the things that I saw that I wanted to change from my last diet, my pescatarian diet, was the fact that I wasn't getting enough protein, primarily because I didn't want to eat fish all the time. So I was practically vegetarian. I would only eat fish sometimes, and I was cooking, and nobody wants fishy smells in their truck, so I wasn't trying to deal with fish on the daily. And that was something that I wanted to change, because clearly if I want to build muscle, I want protein. This time around, I am eating meat. I don't really eat red meat, but I do eat chicken, fish, turkey, lamb, things like that. Lamb is still considered like white meat. I try to still steer away from like burger and pork. I try not to consume as many carbs. I think that was another big thing with being a pescatarian. I was implementing a lot of pasta and a lot of bread. Like I would eat bagels, I would eat crackers. I was eating a bunch of like bread and carbs. And so while I was working out consistently, I was combating the carbs that I was taking in. And you still sit down for a relatively long amount of time. You don't want to be like eating a bunch of carbs and then working out. And you know, it just ends up sometimes balancing out. So that's something I definitely wanted to change. So I don't eat bread. I don't eat bread that often. I probably eat it like once a week. And I try to just eat meat and vegetables. Another thing that I try to steer clear from is dairy. Now, I'm not someone who is going based off of like being lactose intolerant or being like gluten sensitive. I'm really just doing this because I'm noticing that it is showing a difference. I have seen a difference in my body. Very minimal, because I just started doing this like a week or two ago with my diet. I can notice that I'm less bloated. That's something that I've noticed. So of course we know about the almond milk. I try to substitute milk for almond milk. To be honest, I was doing that anyway because I don't drink milk anymore. But I did have pizza, but that was on my cheat day. But I tend to just I tend to steer clear of these things on the daily, so that I'm not gonna have a week's worth of pasta in here, like with Parmesan cheese and stuff like that. My food tends to be salmon or chicken or lamb, and then vegetables, and then some type of either maybe a grain like a brown rice, but for the most part like potatoes or things like that, because I still like potatoes. They're starch, but you know, I like them. I try to not incorporate things that I would want to have cheese on, because then it's just gonna upset me. Or like bread, for instance. So I don't really eat things like sandwiches. Oh, one other huge thing that I've cut back on is sugar. I try my hardest not to, because I know that sugar is one of my biggest enemies. Sugar really works its magic on me, and I think that between sugar and carbs, I can really start to gain weight in my midsection and in my thighs and things like that. And it's just not my forte. So I still like juice. I try to get sugar-free or less than 5 grams of sugar per juice. I really like the Bai antioxidant drinks. They're pretty cool. Hopefully I'm not being steered wrong by them, but from what I can tell, they're not bad for you. I drink my tea without sugar. I do periodically drink coffee. It's not an everyday thing, but I do like the taste of a cold brew coffee with cream in it. I don't like coffee by itself, but my child done jumped on my bed. But I do like the cream in it. It sort of makes it taste like a sugary drink, and that has 5 grams of sugar in the cream. But other than that, I don't really drink anything other than like very low sugar juice and then water. So yeah guys, I hope that this video was helpful in any way. If you have any tips about working out in the truck, please let me know in the comments below. Even if it doesn't help me, it'll probably help others. And I love that us truck drivers are being more conscious about working out. Once again, shout out to Black Girl Rave. She definitely does the thing when it comes down to the jump ropes, and I believe they're doing a challenge, so check out her channel if you haven't already. And I love you all so much. I cannot wait to see you in the next video. Bye. It's super dark now.